at the women's Sweet 16 bracket, which has had a fair share of upsets as well. Double-digit seeds are here in the Sweet 16 also. We got two number 10 seeds. We'll talk about where those teams are at. So we're going to start top left-hand corner, Greensboro Region. We'll have South Carolina and North Carolina. South Carolina, the top overall seed. North Carolina, the number 5 seed, beat Arizona in the round of 32. Beat Stephen F. Austin in the first round. Then you have 3 seed Iowa State and 10 seed Creighton. Creighton won their games against Colorado and against number 2 seed Iowa. Iowa State cleared UT Arlington, very close game in the first round, and beat Georgia in the second round. So that's the Greensboro Region pair of matchups. In the Wichita Region, we have Louisville and Tennessee in the 1-4 matchup, and Michigan and South Dakota in a 3-10. Baylor was knocked out by South Dakota, who beat Ole Miss in the first round and dominated the Lady Bears there in the second round. So we expected Michigan-Baylor, but we get South Dakota. So,
well, that was a shocking upset. Baylor losing to South Dakota. I mean, damn, man. I mean, that was shocking. You know, I mean, a few upsets in this women's tournament. You know, pleasantly surprised to see that. You don't see that all the time. Sometimes you do, and this is one of the better women's tournaments I've seen. Like so far, it's pretty good. It's one of the better ones I've seen, I think. Shocking though. Baylor, they weren't as strong this year, I guess. You know, I mean, there have been way better Baylor teams than this. Was a pretty good one, but there have been better teams than this. So I guess it showed there. They didn't really score very well in that game. It was like they didn't score much. They were like 40 something. My God, rough, but a rough outing. But you got a lot of the power teams here. Carolina made nice. Arizona, I was surprised. I thought Arizona was gonna be team to look at, but they weren't going to be a team to go all the way or anything. They would have lost here to the South Carolina, in my opinion. But because last year they were they weren't a top seed, right? Or they were up there, but they weren't like number 1.
No.
Right? They were maybe like a 4.
Yeah.
Right? But you know, it was a tough man. That I was hoping they would win last year. You know, kind of because they were an upset kind of team. But Stanford, the more power team, and that was such a great tournament. You know.
Yeah.
I mean. Like the Final Four, there's some close games, and then, man, that was so heartbreaking for Arizona. Really, the last shot of that girl's career it sucks, you know, sucks because it's just how it goes. You know, you can't. Yeah. You know, it doesn't always go your way, but it was a great effort anyway. But I'm just thinking back to that a little bit. But Spokane now, Stanford and Maryland. We're gonna play. Maryland always goes out pretty early. It seems like a lot of these tournaments they've been bust a lot in the last 10 years or ever since they got the Big Ten. They're always great, have a great season. The blah blah blah. They don't go to the Final Four anymore. When was the last time they went there? It's been a while, right?
I believe it was 2013 or 14.
Third seed, right? Maybe their first year in the Big Ten, but since then they haven't gone there. They haven't even gone to have they even gone to the Elite Eight since then? I mean, come on now. They need. But they're playing Stanford. That's a tough matchup. And then Ohio State, my team beat LSU in that second round game. So that was a good win. They played Texas, and so Stanford and Maryland's a 1-4 matchup. Ohio State's a 6 seed.
In the Bridgeport Region, NC State the 1 seed against Notre Dame the 5 seed. That's a conference matchup, and then you have Indiana 3 seed against UConn the 2 seed. So there's a lot of good matchups here.
All right, well, as far as who we're going to pick in these games, South Carolina and Iowa State. I thought we were going to see Iowa and Iowa State. I would like to have seen that. South Carolina, Iowa State, in my opinion. But Creighton's, I guess, a pretty dangerous team. Clearly, you know, I mean, beating Iowa, who was Big Ten champion, right? Didn't they win the Big Ten?
Yeah, they did.
Both Iowa teams won, and they both get upset early. So that sucks for them. And Louisville and Tennessee, that's kind of a tricky one. I think Louisville's better. You can pick them. And then Michigan. So what do you on that side?
Definitely South Carolina and Iowa State, but definitely, like you said, look out for Creighton. If they can beat Iowa, I think they could beat Iowa State. But that's a really good.
They could beat Iowa State. Iowa's better than Iowa State. They were better seed. But
very similar teams with their offense and everything. So I think,
upset teams usually go out eventually. They don't usually go forever. But this could be a case where they go further. But we'll see. they have a chance to beat both Iowa schools. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if they won.
Definitely, and I think it's definitely a possibility, but I think we see SC and Iowa State. And then Louisville and Tennessee, that's a great offensive team against a very good defensive team. And I'll go with the offensive team there in Louisville, and I'm going to go with Michigan there against South Dakota. I think South Dakota has a really good team. They were outstanding in the last game against Baylor, but it's going to be tough against that Michigan team who has it inside and outside. So I see Louisville, Michigan there as well.
I like South Carolina in that game there. I'm going to go with Creighton. I think they upset. I think they win this game. I think they beat both Iowa schools. And then I'll definitely have Louisville and Michigan there.
And then the other side of the bracket here, Stanford Maryland's kind of a tough pick here to figure out who's going to win. Pick Stanford because they're just, I don't know. I think they're the better team. Maryland always a good team. They're always great, but they always go out pretty. By the Sweet 16, they're usually out. But maybe they'll change their ways this year. Who knows? But Stanford and then Ohio State and Texas is a tough match. Remember, Ohio State beat LSU as a 3 seed, and LSU everyone thought was going to win and thought they were really good. They're They're at home. Texas though won the Big 12. They're a lot better. You should remember they've been bust for years down there, and for all the sports they've been bust. Football, they're always bust in football. Sorry, but they are. I'm not sorry actually. And then both basketball teams are usually bust. When Shaka Smart, no offense, but Shaka Smart, when he was there, they were always bust, losing the first round of the tournament, even when they were the favorite team, including 2021, right, losing to Abilene Christian. I'm just saying, there's kind of a trend down there. And then, but now they have Chris Beard, and at least they won a tournament game this year. But the women's team also was bust over the years and never could beat Baylor. They always lost to Baylor every single year. They were like 0-19 against them in the last 20 tries. Something crazy. I don't know what it was, but something like that. They were just Baylor, always the upper class. Not this time though. They actually beat them this time, right? Didn't they actually beat them this year?
Yeah.
Wow. This is a tough pick here. What kind of talent does Texas have? I want to know some of their players.
I think
A little bit about them.
Yeah, I think the one player that there's a lot of players to keep your eye on, but I think Rory Harmon, who's a freshman guard for Texas, is not playing like a freshman right now, is really lit it up in the tournament, hit a big shot to beat Stanford early in the season.
Wow, they beat Stanford?
They did, and that was a long time ago back in December, but that's a really, really strong Texas team. I think their backcourt's good, and look at Deanna Gaston on the inside.
Well, for now, I'll go Texas, I guess, but I'd love to see my Buckeyes win.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And then NC State, Notre Dame. I like NC State. They won the ACC, right? Notre Dame, they're back, though. Good for them. And then UConn, they're at home. So, yeah, of course they're going to win. They're home. They're at home. Like, as always, though. They're always at home, it seems like, in the last few years. They always put them up there, and the other teams are a disadvantage, obviously. The thing about these other teams aren't exactly at home though. Like South Carolina, they're playing in Greensboro. They're not playing in South Carolina, literally in their backyard, like their true backyard. They're pretty close. I get it. And where is that? Spokane? Yeah, Stanford's they're pretty close to where they're at. But that's in Washington, not in California. So they're not exactly at home. But UConn is like in their state, like in Connecticut. Bro, I don't know where Bridgeport compared to Stores is or the miles, but it couldn't be too far away.
It's about an hour away.
Okay, an hour? Really? I wonder. Yeah. How about Greensboro to where South Carolina is? That's probably 4 or 5 hours. So I don't know how long it is, but just saying, UConn's literally at home. Like it is. They are home games. I don't know. Kind of unfair, but they should play in New York or something. But whatever.
Yeah, I see them coming out there against Indiana, but it's been an interesting road so far. Obviously, easily cleared Mercer. Then they had a really gritty game against UCF, won that game by 5.
On their home court.
Yeah. But I think they're starting to get into form, and this is an Indiana team who's not nearly as good on the defensive end as UCF. So definitely like UConn. I like NC State, but keep an eye on Notre Dame. They put up over 100 points against Oklahoma in the last round, and they're super dangerous. And as of now, obviously, I'm easily picking Stanford and Maryland. I don't think has much of a chance there. Stanford really, I think they're 1A with South Carolina in this field, and then in the Ohio State game, I think if there was a lower seed in any of these matchups that could win, that's not a double-digit seed like a Carolina, Notre Dame, I think Ohio State would be the team to do it. But Texas is really, really strong. So, yeah.
The fact they beat Stanford, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're 2 seed and they won the Big 12 final. I mean, it seems like they're different right now, and they have a better coach there now. I mean, obviously, a guy who's actually has more credentials. I mean, I don't know who was there before, but I mean, they have better coaching. He wasn't Vic Schaefer, Mississippi State. They had a lot of success. Now what are they?
Yeah.
Are they anything? No.
Yeah.
They weren't even in the tournament. Were they? No.
Yeah.
Well, of course they weren't, because they don't have they don't have talent anymore. I guess as much talent as they used to, because maybe they transferred or they
a lot of transfers.
Yeah, I mean, because he's gone, and when the coach goes, a lot of the talent leaves. So
and the coach that came in, I believe, who came in from Buffalo, ended up leaving, and now they've hired a top assistant away from Louisville to be their new coach. So
anyway, Stanford and South Carolina could easily match up in the that's what I think the championship is going to be, and it'll be quiet. I mean, or not. Well, then there's UConn though. Hold on, wait a minute. I can't say that definitively, but I think South Carolina and Stanford would be a pretty safe bet to be the championship matchup. But
sure.
UConn would be that wild card and throw in pretty big time wild card though. They would be, I guess. Whatever.
Definitely go with Stanford there. Maryland, like you said, doesn't have much of a chance there. This Ohio State-Texas matchup is a hard one to pick. I mean, they did dominate LSU most of that game. Ohio State did, and that was impressive. I'll get back to that one in a minute. NC State, Notre Dame, definitely like NC State, and UConn. That'll be a really good matchup when they play, I think. I might go with Ohio State for right now. I mean, I like the way they played against LSU, but I'm going with Ohio State.
So with that, we've made our predictions, and that's just a little bit of insight on what you could see in the Sweet 16. Obviously, some great matchups here, and we're excited to see Friday and Saturday. These games will be taking place on the men's side. It's Thursday and Friday games. So obviously, we're going to be very excited. We're going to be back after these games are played. Elite Eight, Final Four coming up, all of that. And keep it locked here on Hoop Central for all the latest with some new videos coming up. For Andrew Neal and Alex Neal, this is Hamilton Neal saying goodbye.